Miss Schieffer, and this is my persuasive speech. Humans have always had a special relationship with animals. Whether we think about pets or working animals like seeing eye dogs or livestock, it is easy to see that animals play an essential role in our world. In spite of this, animals continue to be abused in our country. It is important for us to understand animal abuse so that we can stop animal cruelty and protect animal rights. Some people may have different ways of understanding animals. Some people may think that animal abuse is what happens when an animal is not treated like a pet. Animal abuse is actually a legal term. In the law, animal abuse is when a human is intentionally injures, disfigures, or destroys an animal owned by another person. We do have different standards for care for animals, but we should draw a line at treating any animal with cruelty that causes the animal pain. Helen Corcoran, who writes about the use of animals in scientific experiments, writes that, quote, "There is no doubt that animals experience a life. Like us, animals can feel pain and fear, but also excitement and satisfaction." End quote. When we think about what would cause pain or fear to an animal, we can just think what would cause the fear and pain to ourselves. Animals are just like humans and experience a life. When they are sad or in pain, they howl and whine, just like a human would scream or cry in pain or sadness. Animals look forward to some events, like going on a walk, lying in the sun, or playing with their favorite toy. Animals can feel emotional attractions to their families. At the most basic level, animals experience the cold, heat, hunger, and thirst. Regardless to the difference of intelligence, animals and humans are a lot alike. In that way, they value their life and will fight to stay alive. One of the most obvious ways that we cause pain and suffering to an animal is by using animals in testing for new consumer products, new drugs, and scientific experiments. Before consumer products like cosmetics, shampoo, skin lotion, and cleaning products can be put to the stores, the law of the United States and other countries require that they be tested to establish that they are safe for human to use. The testing has to provide that the product is not poisonous and cannot cause cancer or anything else that will hurt a human body. The new products for testing on animals are determined whether that the products are harmful. By this, testing is actually more torture. Experimental tests are done on rabbits, dogs, cats, rats, and other animals on products ranging from eyeshadow to soap, from furniture polish to oven cleaner, to determine whether the product is harmful. One common test is called the dry ice test. To do this test, researchers drop some kind of substance, being liquid or powder, into an eye of albino rabbits. Once rabbits have been given the substance, they are often immobilized in stocks which lock around their neck and only allow their head to protrude, like this picture up here. Over the next 72 hours, the scientists record the damage done to the rabbit's eye tissue. And this may be what it looks like in the end. While these tests are going on, the rabbit's eyelids are held open with a clip. Many animals try to struggle to get out of them and end up breaking their neck. A few scientists may say that if they were not allowed to use animals for testing, that they would have humans volunteer to be in their place. So these animals used in experiments are really suffering and dying for our place. Studies have shown that alone in the United States, every second, 3 animals die of biomedical experiments. Another way that animal abuse happens is when we are producing livestock. The way that producers make their money, they need more food, which means that they need more meat, more eggs, and more dairy. To do this, farmers and ranchers often keep animals in confined spaces. For example, it is common for factory farmers to debeak chickens or cut the tail off cows or piglets. They say that they do this to increase efficiency and the safety so that they can keep them in smaller spaces. However, it is also discomfort, stress, pain, and sometimes death for the animals. Scientists have linked that animals with stress have problem with food quality and safety. Animals that are stressed or in pain are more prone to diseases and may produce a lower quality of eggs, milk, and meat. These are these are also this is There are also examples of animal cruelty in dairy industries. Dairy cattle calves are removed from their mothers right after birth. These calves are normally raised in crates where there is barely enough room for them to groom themselves, move around, explore, or interact socially with other animals. There are still calves that are completely indoors on slatted floors with no bedding and food and are fed an inappropriate diet. The heifers, which are young female calves, are normally raised to replace older cows in the same farm or at other farms. Heifers calves are normally raised in individual pens for the first few months of their lives, where there is limited space and no opportunity to interact with other calves. Dairy calves have their horns normally removed when they are 2 to 3 months old, using hot iron to burn off the bud where the horn grows. And this is often done without any pain relief. All of these examples of cruel treatments of animals have existed for so long. So why do people accept it? Some people think that animal testing has been accepted because our society has such respect for science. This respect leads us to accept the old ideas that animals are necessary for successful research, even though this is not entirely true. First, scientists have found out that the tests are not exactly the right tests. This means that after torturing the animals in experiments, the results may have no value for the animal or other humans, so the suffering was a complete waste. Second, many of the diseases that are the focus of animal research, such as cancer, heart disease, are often preventable diseases. So instead of torturing animals to find drugs that will cure the disease, it would be better to invest in things like a better diet, exercise that can totally prevent people from ever getting the disease. Finally, there really are good alternatives to some animal research. There are ways of performing experiments without animals, or in some cases, with the least number of animals possible. These are called non-animal methods. Using computer models, for example, can reduce the number of animals needed for testing. One way that we can stop cruelty treatment to animals is stop buying consumer products that were developed with animal testing. There are many products on the market that are developed from natural ingredients that are so safe that they do not need to be tested on humans or animals. We should look for products that are labeled not animal tested. The Body Shop and Neva are just some of the companies that make these products. If customers did not buy the product that were tested on animals, there would be no reason for companies to continue to produce this product. Consumers can also influence cruelty to livestock by refusing to buy meat, eggs, or dairy. Products that are produced from animals in confined areas. We should look for products that are labeled range-free or cruelty-free to know that the animals have not been abused. Some people even choose to be vegetarians or vegans in order to protect animal cruelty. There is a great ethic needed to prevent animal abuse. We know that torturing animals in product testing, medical experiments, and in livestock confinements is just not necessary. When we know an animal is suffering, we know that it is just like a human would suffer. Allowing animals to continue to suffer takes away our own sense of compassion and makes us a little less human inside. We are better humans when we take care of our animals.